Named after the breathtakingly fast peregrine falcon, it was in 1999 that Suzuki unleashed the Hayabusa on the planet. And quickly it went on to become the speed king of the world, achieving top speeds beyond 300 kilometers per hour. As manufacturers continued to increase the top speed of their motorcycles, eventually it went on to become a maddening rush. And then in 1999, a lot of companies came together and made an agreement wherein top speed was limited to 299 kilometers per hour. Now this made it hard to ascertain whether this Hayabusa was still the king of speed or not. But as far as the 20th century is concerned, the Hayabusa was certainly the fastest bike on the planet. It was in 2004 that the movie Dhoom was released, wherein John Abraham was shown riding the Hayabusa as a getaway bike, which the Mumbai police always failed to keep up to. Now this made this bike a big hit in India, and over the course of the next few years it came to be known as the Dhoom bike. For almost 2 decades the Suzuki Hayabusa has been the poster child of straight line speed. But now, production of this motorcycle is soon due to come to an end, and that's the reason why we've decided to pay a tribute to this champion of speed before it goes down into the glorious pages of automotive history. Now at the first sight, the Hayabusa is not a pretty motorcycle to look at. Of course, it looks bulky, it looks a bit dated too in today's time. But when you look up close, you will quickly realize that every square inch on this motorcycle was built for outright challenge of speed. And that is what this motorcycle does very efficiently. Now, being a bulky and a bulbous motorcycle, the only sharp part in this motorcycle is this front part, which resembles the beak of the falcon. Apart from that, when you look at the entire thing, it is all about a lot of weight. It looks so, it's not that heavy. Now, for a motorcycle that was designed to breach 300 kilometers per hour, it is imperative to have an effective riding position. And that is where the ugly yet functional design of the Hayabusa shines. Once on the bike, you have a rear set position for your feet, and at high speeds you can easily crouch in behind this large windshield. Now this protects you from the wind blast and gives you an efficient ability to go at higher top speeds without being bothered. Now the Hayabusa has a massive road presence. So when it's out on the streets, people can't help but notice because of the sheer size of this motorcycle. But honestly, it looks a bit dated today. It's been almost 20 years it's been in service, and the design has remained largely unchanged. Even if you are to look at the instrument cluster, it has a dated look to it. Unlike the modern motorcycles which come with fully colored LCDs or TFT screens, this one has got 4 analog meters and just a small digital display which gives a basic amount of information. So even though the Hayabusa might have a slightly dated design and a dated instrument cluster, it has a lot of character. And that's the reason why no matter where you go, you will manage to turn around a lot of heads. Now let's talk about performance. The simple reason why the Hayabusa went on to become a legend. Now talking about the engine, it's powered by a 1300cc liquid-cooled inline cylinder engine that produces a whopping 197 horsepower and 155 Newton meters of torque. Now what does this mean in real-world performance numbers? Well, if in the hand of a good rider, you can reach 100 kilometers per hour from a standstill in under 3 seconds and reach a top velocity of 299 kilometers per hour. In daily riding conditions too, the Hayabusa is very easy to ride. You can pretty much ride it in town at 60 kilometers per hour in 6th gear, and the motorcycle does not complain at all. Now looking at the size of the Hayabusa, it would be very hard for one to imagine that it can easily lean into corners, but that is the case. It does not feel heavy around corners, and cornering comes very naturally to it. And the fact that it has great straight line stability, it has got good brakes, It's got ABS and it's got 3 riding modes wherein you can switch the traction, you can change the traction level interference. It makes for a very convenient motorcycle to go even touring on. Now in today's age, there are a lot of motorcycles from European and other Japanese manufacturers that can easily beat the Hayabusa in terms of straight line acceleration, in-gear acceleration and top speed as well. But most of these motorcycles come loaded with an insane amount of electronic nannies that are working overtime. And for an old school rider like me, it just gives me a feeling that I'm not on a big, powerful hyperbike, but rather in a crash. And that, to some, including me, can be a bit boring. And that's where the Hayabusa shines, because it's got that ultimate man-machine character that you can enjoy. Now, since the Hayabusa is a bit old school in its approach, that actually gives you the opportunity of building a good relationship with the machine. And due to that, you can go on to have an adrenaline rushing experience on it, because you can actually exploit the motorcycle a lot more once you understand it and she understands you back. And for me and for a lot of other guys out there who prefer the old school experience, this is the reason why the Hayabusa would shine rather than the modern motorcycles, which would just give you a higher top speed. Now, when you stack up all of the pedigree, the performance and the iconic image that comes with the Hayabusa, one would imagine it would cost a bomb to buy, but that is not the case in India, because it is locally assembled now and costs a rather competitive 13.74 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi. Now at this price, there is no other motorcycle today on sale in India that can come close to the Hayabusa, either in terms of performance or in terms of its iconic image. And that's the reason why the Hayabusa, despite having lived a life of 20 years today in our book, is an unbeatable bike. And that's what makes it a true icon and a champion.